You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Greetings, young Squire Sprouts. Today is the 12th day in the second month in the year of our Lord 2022. My name is Sir Roland Paterlot I, Slayer of 1,000 Dragons, and your host for this first ever episode of Saturdays with Sir Roland on Catholic Sprouts. You may remember me. I hosted Catholic Sprouts the week of October 25th, 2021. And that week we talked about what a dragon is, the weapons and strategies used in slaying a dragon, how to be healed of all dragon wounds, and we told stories of great dragon slayers of old. I had so much fun that week. I said to the Catholic Sprouts lady, your audience is destined to be great dragon slayers. They ask great questions. Many of them signed up for my Dragon Slayers retreat. Some of them sent me fan mail. Speaking of which, I'd like to give a shout out to 3-year-old Lady Anna Tatertot. That is the cutest Dragon Slayer name I've ever heard. So I said, if only I had more time to train these parents and kids in the art of dragon slaying. And so here I am, bringing you a bonus episode of Catholic Sprouts every Saturday. I am so excited to be with you. You know, the season of Lent is coming up in just a few weeks. And during the whole season of Lent, the Catholic Sprouts lady is going to be talking to you about the 7 deadly dragons, aka the 7 deadly sins. I'm not sure I was supposed to tell you that. It might have been a surprise, so hopefully I don't get fired on my first day of the job. But it was just too exciting to keep to myself. And during that same time of Lent, I'm going to be telling you about some of the common and notorious species of dragon found in my good friend Sir Wyvern Pugilist's Great Dragon Slayer's Manual. But before we can learn about these vile creatures, we must first learn how to be initiated into the Order of Dragon Slayers. Do not, I repeat, do not attempt to slay a dragon until you have had the proper initiation. But fear not. There are 3 initiations into the Order of Dragon Slayers, and I bet most of you have at least received your first initiation, which is, of course, baptism. And that is what I want to discuss with you as we prepare for the season of Lent. So why is baptism so important to dragon slaying? Well, you may recall the original dragon, Lucifer, or Satan, or the devil, and how he rebelled against God, and St. Michael and the good angels cast him down to the earth, where he deceived the original man and woman, Adam and Eve, into eating the original fruit in the original Garden of Eden, which we call the original sin. That's a lot of originals. You may also recall that original sin had a ripple effect that was passed on from generation to generation. You may well say, well, that's not fair. Why do I have to suffer the effects of original sin just because something that Adam and Eve did? Well, I want you to think of original sin not so much something you have, but more so something you're missing. For example, my Squire John, when he's not squiring for me, he is an eye doctor. And so let's use the example of eyes. Eyes were made to see. Now imagine if your mom and dad had a genetic defect that caused all of their children to be born blind. That would be awful. You would be blind, and the whole world would be full of darkness. Now imagine that an eye doctor came along who had the cure to blindness. Well, that eye doctor is Jesus, the best eye doctor ever, and he is the light of the world who helps all people who walk in darkness to see a great light. And in baptism, you receive the light of Christ. But that's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. You see, the Catechism says, at our baptism, we are summoned to battle. To battle what? Dragons, of course. Dragons are sins. Dragons are temptations. They're fallen angels. They're obstacles. They're any distraction from our extraordinary mission, which is, of course, the very purpose of baptism and all the sacraments and everything the Catholic Church teaches and the very meaning of this journey of life. And that is to become saints. That is our extraordinary mission. And that is why we need baptism, because it gives us supernatural power, grace to slay dragons and become saints. Now, this week, I have a challenge for you, and this is very important in your first step in learning the art of dragon slaying. I want you to take a bunch of sticky notes, and I want you to write your mission on them. Become a saint. Or you could write, become a dragon slayer, whichever you prefer, they both mean the same thing. And I want you to put the mission everywhere. Why, you may ask? Because if we don't write things down, we tend to forget, especially as we get older. I'm from medieval times. I grew up way back in the 80s. And they say, as you get older, two things start to go. One is your memory, and the other is, I can't think of the other one right now. But my point is, you have to write down your mission as a constant reminder. So put it on your alarm clock so it's the first thing you see when you wake up. What's that, you asked? What if your parents wake you up? Then tell your parents to wake you up like this. It's time to wake up and become a saint. Slay slack bottom and get out of that bed. Then you should put the mission on your bathroom mirror because you're a little groggy when you get up in the morning and you might forget from getting up to going to the bathroom. Put the mission on your snack cupboard in your fridge so you eat healthy foods that help you become saints. Put the mission on your TV and screens and electronic device thingies so you only watch and listen to things that help you become saints. Put one above the door where you leave the house that says, "Live like a saint today." Put one on your little brother's forehead so when he starts to annoy you, you can react with saintly patience and kindness. I'm just kidding. Don't put one on his forehead. I don't want your parents to get mad at me. Maybe stick it on his t-shirt. I even made wristbands that say, "Become a saint, be not afraid," because I tend to take my wrist with me everywhere I go, and it's right next to my watch. So every time I look at my watch, do you know what time it is? It's time to become a saint. I've given out over 50,000 of those wristbands, and I would love to have you join our Dragon Slayers Training Guild and send you a free wristband. So stick around after the show to find out how to join our guild and get your free wristband. Now, that's all the time we have for today. But next week, we're really going to dive into all the cool stuff used in the sacrament of baptism that makes all dragons flee. So be sure to come back and bring your friends. Until then, I leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Hey parents and kids, this is John, Sir Roland Squire. We hope you enjoyed the first episode of Saturdays with Sir Roland. As Sir Roland mentioned, we're starting a Dragon Slayers Training Guild for parents and kids, and we want you to be the first members. It's absolutely free to join our training guild, and we will be sending you free stuff, downloads, music, resources, coloring pages, discounts on cool items, and more, all to help you slay dragons. And if you join our guild this week, we will send you one of Sir Roland's Become a Saint wristbands for free. Just click on the link in the show notes, put your name, email, and address, and we will immediately dispatch a horse and rider to deliver your free wristband. Or we may even use the modern mail system to get it there quicker. Remember, this offer is good for this week only, so don't wait. And don't forget, listen to Catholic Sprouts every day, including Saturdays with Sir Roland.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.